I had long wanted to visit the Hewlet Valley, which I learnt was a world-famous bird migration centre. I had seen pictures of thousands of pelicans landing. Optimistically, I hoped we might see some of these, but realised we were nearly 2 months past the migration season. There used to be a lake here, fed by the River Jordan. In 1948 it was drained for agricultural land, but by the 60s an ambitious project to make it into a conservation area was fulfilled. We see this creature in the water and wonder what it is. Notice the long tail. A sign later on tells us that they are koipu. African catfish also seem plentiful. We walk all round the site with temperatures soaring to 37 degrees and only catch sight of 1 or 2 distant birds. We trudge back to the visitor centre, hot, sweaty, and a bit disappointed. The next nature reserve we drive to is Tel Dan. The heat by now is oppressive, so it's refreshing to walk in the cool woodlands with many bubbling brooks beside the footpaths. The water is crystal clear. It's one of the 3 sources of the Jordan River, fed by the snows of Mount Hermon. While the others walk onto the Canaanite site, I sit beside this wading pool, watching Israeli schoolchildren chilling out. The springs provide 238 million cubic meters of water annually. When you see these rushing torrents, it's hard to believe this is the same river that we saw at the baptismal site at Bethany. As it's our hottest day, 40 degrees, it seems a good idea to travel into the Golan Heights, where it's definitely cooler. Nicole brings us to this impressive castle of Nimrod, standing over 800 meters. It looked familiar to me, so on my return I looked at my diary and discovered I'd visited it in 1989. It's a massive construction. Built originally by the Muslim Mamluk rulers in 1227 to guard the route to Damascus from the Crusaders, it served its purpose well. A later Crusader incursion was repelled, and 45 years later it was reinforced to become one of the most grandiose fortresses in the Middle East. We are now standing in the southwest tower, with stunning views through the arrow slits over the Hewlet Valley. It's only when you get close that you realise how huge the squared stones are. In the opposite direction, one faces the lower Hermon slopes. A view of the keep and dungeon shows the monumental scale of this fortress. Nicole has one more surprise for us, a place I've never even heard of before in the Golan Heights. It forms part of a volcanic ridge and provides amazing views in all directions, including Syria. This place is important to Israelis. Young people are brought up here to learn about their history. At the time of the Yom Kippur War in 1973, Mount Bental was the site of one of the largest tank battles in history. The Syrians attacked with 1,500 tanks to the Israelis 160. It's called the Valley of Tears because the Israeli tanks were reduced to only 7.
Now you can see the border with Syria, okay? The United Nations, the white building over there. The old Kunetra, which used to be a basis for the army and the Syrian army up to 67. And the border is following, we see the lake here, and is going to the north. We see the new Kunetra city in Syria, obviously, so we do a panoramic view of Syria. Now, down there, you have a lot of land which is held by the kibbutz around here, okay? It's all about agriculture. And we can see the main road. We could have been on this road, actually. The main road, going and doing, on the way here, doing another panoramic view from the lower part. Bental, Avital. Bental for a while was as well a place where the army was checking what was going on in Syria. And from here as well we can see the Mount Hermon, which is 2,800 meters in the Syrian part and 2,200 meters in the Israeli part.
This strategic position is now a disused army outpost, and all the old Israeli bunkers are still there for visitors to explore. With another varied day behind us, we return to Tiberias to cool off in our air-con rooms.
Because it would get very